evening. Good evening. Welcome to Detroit in Black, our Friday night's edition of Detroit in Black and White. This evening we have the CEO, the guy, the legend, the myth, the mystery, Mr. Adolph Mongo. Good evening, Adolph.
Stop with all the bullshit. Hello, how you doing?
Good evening. And we also have Jim Nardone, the former chief of police in Trenton, Michigan. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening. Bring more bullshit.
So this evening we don't have Allan Lengel. Allan will be back with us tomorrow evening.
Morning.
Huh?
Tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow. Did I say evening? Tomorrow morning. Listen, today has been a long day. A long day. Long day. But at any rate,
we don't want anybody to miss us.
At 10 o'clock. Right. So if you are watching Detroit Black and White, we want you to like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Tell all your friends about Detroit in Black and White. You can catch us on all social media platforms. I want to say good evening also to all those that have joined us on Facebook. In particularly, I want to give a shout out to Jill Sheridan, Hall Nuts, Janet Overall, Tracy Huff. Thank you all for joining us on Detroit in Black and White. Again, tell all your friends about Detroit in Black and White. Today, this Friday evening, is just going to be a free-for-all.
That's Day, by the way. We need to check the driver's license and see what it really
Day. Queen B, girl, where you been? Hey, you. Hey, you've been
studying.
Missing. We've missed you. We're glad that you're back. So, do we want to start with Adolph first? Is there something particularly you want to talk about, Adolph?
Oh, I saw where the new mayor-elect, the Honorable Mary Sheffield, has picked all these folks to be on a transition team, and most of them are bottom feeders. They haven't been there before. They trying to get a paycheck and whatever. Same usual suspects. I just hope that she picked people that know city government, not the same old bullshit folks that I work with. I've seen some of those people up there that I work with. Some of those folks up there, they got agendas. Agendas is, contracts and all the other bullshit that they can get out of the city. But there are some people that hopefully that can help her out. I hope this is not a celebrity administration, and that we be seeing all these celebrities come in town and saying that they are developers and all this other shit. And she has to, from day one, deal with crime, deal with the neighborhoods. It took her 12 years to say she's going to do something with the schools. So hopefully she get it together, get some good people, and we'll see what happens. And then I want to mention this, the Detroit News talking about in an editorial that she should hire Reverend Kinlock as a poverty person. Fuck that. If I was Reverend Kinlock, I would give him a finger. Say, fuck that. If I was the mayor-elect, I was telling them, let me pick my own team. And you don't pick the team. Why would I pick somebody and I'm looking worried about what they're going to do and their agenda? Let her pick her own team. What this tells me that the Detroit News is saying she got some shortcomings, and you need to get your opponent and make them part of your team, which is crazy. Go ahead.
you know what? You can look at it one of two ways. One, she picked some people that are veterans, and maybe she picked those people because of the experience that they have, and then maybe they can bring some wisdom to the office. Or you can look at it the other way. If you campaign on, look, I'm doing something different. Well, if people want something different, you have to do something different. And doing something different is not voting in the same thing. So let's hope that things work out for the best, because again, I've said it before, if she wins, we should win as Detroiters. I saw the transition team and I was like, I've seen this name before in the previous administration, the administration before that, and so on and so forth, to your point.
Don't ever go away.
The
It's like a fucking fly that hides out in your house during the winter, and then when it's 50 below outside, this fucker is flying around. We don't need that. We don't need these same old same olds. Get some real folks. We need some young blood. She's young. But we don't need everybody young. We need some experienced people, and her agenda, her first 100 days need to get some work done. So,
Well, to your point though, Adolph, and I'm sorry, Jim, I don't know if you want to get in there, but to your point though, is that you said that she's young. So she does need to be surrounded by people that have wisdom, that have
not those
experience.
same, but not those same assholes that I saw standing up there, because those some bottom fucking feeders. All they want to do is eat the crop up. No, You can get
Well, let
some
you tell her
experience,
there are
folks.
no crops. Let you tell her there are no crops. What are you talking about?
Well, you know what, motherfucker? Where there's no crops, they cannibals. They'll eat each other up. So
Well, then if
yeah,
they eat each other up, then
yeah,
guess
like a rat. A rat don't have any food, but a rat start eating other rats up. So this is what we got. There's a little money left in the safe. People, robbers, they'll kill somebody for $20. So
well,
that's what we got up there. We got people that want to just take, and some of those folks that was part of Dennis Archer transition team, they gave themselves a job. They recommended it themselves. If you truly, you can tell who don't want a job. They want to make a lot of big time money, but you can tell who. She got 700-800 resumes. Lord have mercy, that's a
yes,
lot of resumes.
but you know what, Adolph? As I said, if the voters wanted something different, they would have done something different. They
Well,
did.
you mean the people that voted, the few people that voted, this is what they wanted. So don't come to me, and the people that didn't vote and complaining, don't come to me either, because you should have voted.
Are people complaining?
Yeah, people complaining. I talk to folks, people that live in the neighborhoods complaining. And this is what I told a couple of people. Did you vote?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it wasn't counted. It wouldn't count. See, don't complain, and then you don't have to explain. Listen, you just go and put some people in there that's gonna do it. How they gonna fix the schools up in 2 minutes? How they gonna
It's not gonna be.
bring grocery stores into the neighborhoods? How are they gonna add 2,000 more cops in Detroit? When I came back to Detroit, you had almost 5,000 police officers, and the city had to lay off stuff. She's gonna have to lay off folks. She's gonna have to cut. So I hope she gets some turnaround folks that know how to deal with finances and stuff. And you got city workers gonna have their hand out saying, when I'm getting my money back from the pension cuts that I gave, and she can't answer the question. Listen, she'd have been better off with some of those people she didn't need. She could depend on the advice of her daddy. He know more than some of those people, and I'm saying that with. And
You saying that with what?
I really don't believe it, though.
With the utmost
I'm saying.
respect, is
So
what
I'm
he's
gonna
saying.
go to some of our comments, Adolph. So Tracy Huff, good evening, everyone. And you know
Hey,
what?
Willis,
Shout out
Stephanie.
to let me give a shout out to our producer, Lady T. Hey everybody, would you guys put in a comment? Give a shout out to Lady T because she always back there quarterbacking and making sure that we get here on time and that the show runs smoothly. Queen B says she's been missing because she's been studying.
Good
Okay,
for
that's a
you.
great thing. Eric Brown says, good evening, Adolph, Nessa and Jim. Uh, Queen B says she's glad you're feeling better. Day says, good evening. Um, Jill Sheridan says she watched the Wednesday show after the fact. Great, lively conversation.
Thank you, Jill.
Karen Winston said, good evening, everyone. Stephanie Jackson said, good evening. Eric Brown says, got to give a shout out to the super producer, Teresa. Uh, Queen B says, Adolph, to your comment, yeah, I hope some of them come through, though. Miss Sheila said, it's a raw night with the hosting tonight. Speak on it. Janet Overall said, thank you, Adolph. So glad to see you. Willis Martin said, good evening. I'm originally from DC. The next mayor seems to speak that word salad language. I'm not impressed. Okay, he's not impressed. Eric says the word is the Detroit will become the safest city in the country. He has crying emojis. Miss Suzuki says, what is the definition of insanity? Exactly. Jim, I need you to get in contact with Miss Dingle regarding natural resources. Somebody asked you that. Stephanie Jackson says opponents can come together for the common goal. And she's making that comment in reference to that op-ed in the paper talking about Pastor Kinlock. Willis Martin said people in Chicago are complaining about what they voted for. Um, and of course, you got people shouting out, giving a shout out to Lady T. Thank you guys. Uh, you don't like my music? He says, I'll be out here.
Hosea Williams. Well, Hosea, what do you want to talk about? I don't think that's.
What's the topic tonight? We're getting ready to get to it. Adolph was just talking about the new mayor elect and her transition team, and he basically don't like it. He's not impressed. Mr. 1213 says, good evening. Who is on the Sheffield's transition team? All the people that you saw that was on Mayor Duggan's transition.
Hey, true sensation.
Wait a minute. And who all the people that was on the team of the mayor before that, and the mayor before that, and the mayor before that.
All right, Jim.
Well, let me.
Go ahead.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
When you leave a job, when you leave an employment of a government organization, the best thing to do is keep on moving, right?
Right.
Keep on keeping on, right? So James White, my hero, is coming back to work for the city of Detroit. Are they getting compensation for this transition team? Or
No.
I read nowhere where it's a volunteer position.
No, because people see this is what I'm talking about. And Jim, you've been there, and I've been there. I left the city government. I left the mayor office. I was an appointee, and I didn't like what I was seeing my last year or two there. So, I bumped heads with a lot of folks, and then I left. It was time to go. I don't want to. I had never, even when I helped a couple of mayors, the next mayors, I didn't want a job at city government. I didn't want Kwame to give me shit. I don't want none of that. You don't look back. What Satchel Paige said, Jim? If you look back, something might be gaining on your ass. You move forward and you get people. You get some good people to make some stuff happening. Not the old freezer burn folks. You pull them out of the freezer and they've been there 2 years, 3 years, and now they back. It's like Butch Hollowell. Butch Hollowell is that. You know what? I know Butch. I know him, but he's warmed over milk. You
And I
know,
know Todd Bettison, you got to give him the opportunity to lead his department. And that goes for all the other departments. I'm only familiar with the PD. You don't want an ex-police chief, all due respect to James White, you don't want an ex-police chief overlooking the current police chief and telling people what he's doing wrong. You need to step aside. You don't meddle. You don't run for office. You had your opportunity. You did the best you could with it, and then you left. Keep on leaving.
But let me say this, guys, and then after I make this comment, I'm going to shoot to commercial. What do you do though when the mayor-elect calls you or people call you and say, "Hey, we need you to help. We need you to come back and help us"? What do you do?
What do you do if you're a former police chief? You say, "I'm not going to step on the toes of the current police chief. I'm not going to be running around town talking about everything he's doing wrong." There's been 5 police chiefs in my department since I left. Some of them I didn't really care for, but I sure as hell wasn't running around town telling people what they should be doing better. That's to me, that's just a bad plan.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back. We'll get to some comments. Detroit Black and White, our Friday evening's edition.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. Are you living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, or maybe you know someone who's in the same situation? The probate process may be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. We have several nonprofit partners who have free attorneys who can assist you. Contact our office, 313-224-5990, or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. Don't lose your family property. Some of these properties have been in the family for 4 or 5 generations. Contact us now. We're here to help.
We're back, Detroit Black and White, our Friday evening's edition. You have Adolph Mongo and Jim Nardone, and of course you have myself, Vanessa Moss. I'm going to go to a couple of the comments. You don't like my music says he hate to be that guy, but that new mayor of yours is gorgeous. He says, whenever you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Well, you know what? Before you go on, this has been our problem. You know, people voting on looks and shit, and voting on looks don't get it. But I'm not surprised that if people find her attractive, and people looked at Kinlock and say, "Oh no, which one? I don't know anything about either one, but I'll go with the one that looks good." Go ahead.
Eric says she has to get some young folks involved to move the city forward and give them hope of an opportunity to make a difference. True Sensation asks, so James White leaving his role as CEO?
No, it's just an advisory position. The point is he will have influence. It's a public safety committee. There's co-chairs, and they're going to make it far more political than it needs to be. We already have. Go ahead, Al.
No, go ahead.
We already have a panel that overlooks the police department, a civilian elected panel that overlooks the police department, which is a whole nother issue. We don't need a public safety committee. Let the guy run his department.
And she said that she was going to keep Madison, or was that just bullshit?
No, she's going to keep him, but she's going to have people breathing down his neck, looking over his shoulder.
And then you can't run a department when you got 10 people watching you every day and then reporting back to the mayor. And I've been in situations like that. And what Coleman Young hated was folks coming to him and telling on each other. I'm telling the mayor. I'm telling the mayor. I used to say, tell the fucking mayor. I don't care. The bottom line, do your fucking job. Or they call your office and say, the mayor said do this, do that. I said, well, tell the mayor to call me. You don't hear nothing back from them because they use that shit. You're right, Jim.
So Stephanie Jackson says we know any clear conflict of interest is not a concern. Uh, uh, who is this? Chlorophyll 11721 says they voted for Ibrahim Traore, somebody I don't know. And you don't like my music said no snitching. Where have I heard that before?
The streets.
Right, absolutely. Angela Beatty says, hello, everyone. And I want to tell her happy birthday. Listen, Power Orgs, you must have known I was talking about you earlier today. Where have you been? Thank you for coming and watching. I mean, literally, I talked about you about a half an hour ago. He says, Adolph, you're right. That looks won't cut it. And Bedison needs a monitor. That's what.
Thanks for your comment, but we've had both of them, or we've had them both on, and I'll just say Todd Bedison is qualified to be the police chief. He may need.
He sure is.
Yeah.
He sure is. Hey, he's qualified to be the mayor. So I like Todd. Smart. He's a cop's cop. And he doesn't, he got a good disposition, but he don't take shit from folks. And I think if they let him do his job, at least in the next 6, 7, 8 months, we'll see how he does, But you don't need somebody coming in that's a former police chief and saying, well, he's not doing this right, not doing that right. Yeah. Oh, I didn't think of that, Jim. You absolutely right.
Miss Sheila says, will civilians forget about that? No snitching. That's why we end this issue now. Chlorophyll 1721 says, there's not enough oversight in city politics. There's also no accountability regionally or federally.
But that's up to the leadership of the city. That's when you say accountability, that's the mayor's job. The buck stops with the mayor and city government.
Right.
Wait a minute, Jim. I'm going to push back on that. Accountability, we have to hold the mayor accountable. We have to hold these elected officials accountable. They work for us. Whether you voted for that person or not, they work for you. And so you have to hold the mayor and everyone else accountable.
Well,
but they should have a standard. She should know what the pension system looks like. She should know that Karen Winston lost her benefits, and she should be focusing on a way to get the benefits back to the people that earned them. She should be doing all these things. She should set her own standard. I understand the public needs to hold the elected officials accountable, but they need to hold themselves accountable. That's why we had Kwame Kilpatrick, not because the people didn't hold him accountable. He didn't hold himself accountable.
And listen, I talked to a state rep. I won't mention their name, and the state rep told me they reached out to congratulate new mayor and stuff, and that they want to meet with her, but she never reached back. She gonna need Lansing. And 2, what is she gonna do with Duggan? He's the elephant in the room. He gonna ask for her support because if she says yes, she loses Lansing. She loses the Democrats because he's trashing them. Yeah. He's holding back nothing. Or if she say "fuck you, Duggan," and then Duggan is an enemy of hers.
Why does she have to say anything at all? Why does she have to?
Because she owed Duggan. They already met with Duggan. Duggan told them they was the first. Her daddy and her was the first people to know, besides his family, that he was running. He wasn't running for re-election, and that she got his support. That's why she got out there early. Don't believe that she didn't. Otherwise, she wouldn't have got out there and say she was running for mayor.
We heard that she was.
And she owed Duggan. But you look at those people. Most of those are Duggan people.
Right. I said that.
Okay, so she got to go with Duggan or she's gonna go against the Democrats.
So did anybody see the picture of the governor and the new mayor-elect? Did you
saw
guys
it.
see the picture? They look like a divorced couple 15 years ago that hates each other for their whole lives. And they're standing. Take a look at them both. It is probably one of the most uncomfortable photos I've seen in a long time. They both look pretty uncomfortable.
Well,
Take a
I'm
first look.
uncomfortable with the fucking governor. She lost me when she pissed on Garland Gilchrist, and he took it. He drank her piss because he didn't fire back at her. She needed him for two fucking elections, and then even if she thought that he couldn't win, you don't come out and say your running partner, hey, you know. He don't have a snowball hell and chance of winning. That's a lieutenant governor is a waste of whatever. But you didn't say that, you know, and so Garland he's running for governor, but I don't know his chances. He might surprise and be the nominee. Yeah, who knows? But if he's the nominee, he's not going. I don't think he can win. You know, way this shit is set up, but yeah.
Well, the governor's in a bad position, right? She's going to push the Secretary of State, and the mayor's going to have to support the independent. So you can see, if you look at it, I cracked up when I saw it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's gonna be. This is gonna be next year. It's gonna be man, because then
I don't think we have to wait to. Well, I guess next year.
Whoever's gonna be the Democratic nominee for the Senate, oh man, they're gonna have to walk a tightrope because one, they can't get Duggan. They can't get Duggan support because they pissed on the Democrats. And then if Mary goes with Duggan, they're not going to find an ally in Detroit with the mayor. You know, the Democrats is going up a slippery slope.
So you have some Democrats and some Democrats that are really aligned with the governor, that are supporting. That's on the transition team. That's supporting the Mayor Duggan as his run for governor. We saw that when we saw the photo with
Well, Duggan is a Republican. Duggan got Republican roots. Whitmer got Republican roots. Her daddy, big time Republican. Dick Whitmer, Blue Cross. Yeah. So they got Republican roots, and they don't have a problem. That's why they don't have a problem going against the Democrats. If I grew up as a Republican and I got in line with the Democrats because it was shorter, I wouldn't have any problem going back being what I was raised to be.
You mean the insurance people, Adolph, the ones that took the catastrophic injury protection away from our residents here in Michigan? Those are the people you're talking about?
Yeah.
From Blue Cross that wanted to make sure that they didn't have to pay the bills of the people that got.
Yeah. There ain't no question about it. So it's going to be real interesting, and we're going to see what happens to Detroit. We're going to see how long the love fest between the media, sorry ass media we got here in Detroit, and the new administration. Are they going to go into the new year, or are they going to come out and start saying, "Oh, buyer's remorse"? You know, she's not doing what she's supposed to do.
That's not going to happen.
Oh, well, you say it's not going to happen. What, they going to ride that train? I thought it wouldn't happen with Kwame, and they turned on that motherfucker.
Yeah, you're right.
They turned on him, and you look at what.
This is the thing, though, Adolph. You say they turned on him. I don't know if you would characterize it as that, because a lot of the things that they talked about with Kwame Kilpatrick, people already knew this before he was.
But they knew it. But they endorsed him. They endorsed him. They loved him. They loved him. The Free Press and the news, all of them endorsed him. Say he can go far. He can be governor. He can be a senator. He spoke at the convention. They loved him. They already had that shit. They had all his shit, and they just ignored it. You know, they got editors saying, "Well, we're not running with that. We're not doing this." We got so many stupid journalists. When and you can ask Allan. When Allan was working with the Detroit News, when Allan was working with the Detroit News, I called Allan. I said, "Guess what, Allan? Coleman Young is appointing Willie Horton as the head of PAL." He knew who Willie Horton was. He grew up in Detroit. Allan said he went to his fucking editor and said, "We got a story on Willie Horton being appointed PAL." And said the guy looked at him and said, "Willie Horton, the one from Massachusetts?"
He did.
The one that do caucus? That's not a story. They want him, you know. And he said, "No, Willie Horton, he wouldn't run it." And then
Number
I gave it
23.
the Free Press had it the next day. Allan said he was embarrassed because the fucker didn't know it. That's who we get. We get people like that. Everybody that grew up in Detroit know who Willie Horton was.
No, and then you're gonna put your picture
There it
up
is. Look at them. Put it back up there and look at their faces. Boy, they look really happy, don't they? It looks like the graduation with your,
We doing it for the kids. We doing it for the kids. Yeah, so this is what you got. You know, some same people that don't know shit. You know, yeah. I asked one of the Free Press folks, what make Mary the best candidate? She couldn't answer the fucking question. You know, she been on there 12 years. Yeah, Gil Hill was on the city council 12 years. He was president of the council. And when we ran that commercial on him and said, "What in 12 years, what did Gil Hill do?" Couldn't name shit that Gil Hill did. And we blamed him for everything. So if I was running a campaign and doing the commercials and shit, I'd have made this an interesting campaign. It might have been come out the same way, but it would have been interesting.
I don't think like my music was talking about the two women on the picture when he said Reagan gave us the welfare queen. I think he's talking about somebody else.
No.
Well, the welfare queen, Reagan, they used one person, and all the welfare queens was all those folks that Reagan gave money to, millions of dollars and shit. So they can't even use that shit anymore, welfare queens.
And like my music, that is the same Gil Hill. Yeah, that's him.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to some of our viewers, and then we're gonna switch lanes a little bit. Adolph, you're right. Looks like that looks won't cut it, and Bedison needs a monitor. Well, I've already read that. Miss Sheila says we civilians forget about that. No snitching. Well, I've already read that. I'm going to go to Queen B. The fact that James White resigned a year ago and is now back a year later in an advisory position is wild.
He missed it.
Janet overall has the emoji with her hands over her face. Mr. 1213 says, "I wonder if Santil Jenkins ran against Sheffield in November. Would the race have been much closer?"
No, same.
Much closer. Annie Lewis 6586. Hey, thank you so much for walking Detroit in black and white. We're so glad that you joined us. You're never too late. We're glad that you're here. Karen Winston, she says, "Thanks, Jim." Adolph, you got people cracking up. Queen B says she too was done with the both of them. Eric says, "Great point, Jim," and I laughed hysterically when he saw the picture. Cynthia now said, "Hey, 50 Cent." She said, "I noticed that picture and I thought the same thing, Jim." Karen Winston says there was a person that spoke today during city council meeting that said Duggan looked like he was sick and that the public meeting last night was cut short. Wow. Mr. 1213 says, Whitmer probably wait until the last Democrat state, and then Whitmer will endorse that person. Uh, let's see. I think I've got most of the comments. You got a lot of laughing emojis. You don't like my views. It said if I had to trace the current trajectory in U.S. politics, I would start with Rush Limbaugh and Newt Gingrich. And Par Org says, Vanessa, you and Eric talked us up, which means you spiritually tuned.
So Adolph, tell the people that might not know where Willie Horton was in July 1967.
He was on 12th Street in his uniform. I had been to the game with my father, a doubleheader against the Yankees. And when we got back on the highway, the state police was moving everybody away from 12th Street. Willie Horton left the last game. He went to where they was burning down the buildings, looting, with a National Guard and the Detroit police and the state police had no control over, and got there begging people to go home, etc. Just an hour before he got there, they ran John Conyers out of there. They threw rocks and shit at him. Because he came, I have to give Conyers credit. He came from his office and went there, but they ran him out. But they didn't run Willie Horton out. You know, Willie Horton. That's why he's a icon, a hero. Willie Horton. That's where listen. He went back to the old neighborhood. That's where he grew up at, and he didn't even bother to change clothes. He went right there with number 23.
23, Northwestern High School, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to read this last comment. Eric Brown, he said, here's what's going to happen. There will be stories dropping, and Duggan will conveniently act like he doesn't know her name. He will be asked about the mayor and respond, who?
Well, Eric, you've been right on some things and stuff, but Duggan needs, he needs, the Pied Piper. He when he played his flute, the rats followed him. So he needs somebody to play the flute. So some of these rats in Detroit will go vote independent. And because I don't see a whole hell of a lot of people flocking, saying I'm an independent and then go back and vote Democrat on other shit. It just ain't gonna happen.
You think they'll do it because it for some people it's just too much work. It's easy to
too much work unless they cheat on the fucking absentees. When they start playing with the absentees and shit. Duggan got a free pass from the clerk's office. When he ran as a write-in and shit, and a third or fourth of those names were fucked. So yeah.
Yep.
I just don't see it. I might be wrong, but he shook up the governor's race, and now I hear that there are going to be some other people running as independents for Congress and for the Senate. So they're gonna crash Duggan's party.
Right.
Because they look at it and say, shit, we might as well get on that bandwagon.
Right. We're going to take a break. We're going to go to commercial. We're going to come back. Detroit in Black and White, our Friday evening's edition.
Nearly 30,000 vacant lots all over the city of Detroit are for sale right now. That's right. Nearly 30,000 vacant lots are available now, starting at just $100. The lot next to your house or the lot down the street. Make it yours today in just a few simple clicks. Find out if it is available by visiting buildingdetroit.org. At the Detroit Land Bank Authority, side lots are just $100 and neighborhood lots sell for $250. You can apply and pay online today by visiting buildingdetroit.org. And if you don't see the lot you're looking for, call our offices. Our phone number is 313-974-6869. Again, that is 313-974-6869.
We're back, Detroit Black and White, our Friday evenings edition. I want to give a shout out to Janet Overall. She says it's a great show. Thank you so much. She's encouraging our young folks to listen. Thank you so much, Janet. And you know what? We're going to ask the rest of you guys that have joined Detroit Black and White. Tell all your people about the greatest show on these YouTube streets. Tell them they can join us on all social media platforms. They can see us every Wednesday and Friday evening from 8:30 to 9:30, and every Saturday morning from 10
I
to
can't hear anything.
we can hear you, Jim. You can also catch Detroit Black and White presents Reality Strikes on Monday evenings with Eric Brown from 8:30 to 9:30 in the evening. So, Adolph, I think I said to you that I wanted to talk about something. One of our viewers, his name is Mike Evans, he had a conversation with me. He's been doing all these social media, Instagram posts and everything, but he was talking about these gas stations. It really is a fall for him. He really has issues with it. But he was talking about how these gas stations sell these sex enhancing drugs. So I want to see whether or not it's true. I go to the gas station, I get my gas. I may walk in there to get myself some. May go in there get myself some. Yeah, thank you. I may go in there and get myself some water or snacks or something like that. And in the city, we talk about how we have food deserts. A lot of people, there's not enough grocery stores, so people go to the gas station, may buy staples. Well, now I find out that it is in fact true. He wasn't talking junk. That they do sell these sex enhancing drugs. I call them drugs in the gas station. The pills are called Rhino, Black Mamba, X-rated honey, and they sold near the cash register. You could buy them at the gas station, you could buy at the liquor store, but these pills are not regulated. The FDA, what they do is they term it as herbal pills or dietary pills, right? And so people can go in there and buy them. The problem is it leads to heart attacks, all kinds of medical issues, and nobody is saying anything about it. In addition to that, they're selling synthetic heroin in these gas stations.
Like, well, why are you surprised?
Wait a minute, 3 months ago, we had a young man that lived right here in Southwest Detroit who died of an overdose from synthetic heroin. Now, if you're talking about communities, if you're talking about making things better, how in the heck are we allowing these kind of things to be sold in the stores in our community?
Because they give money.
Correct.
They give money to these politicians. They give money. The Chaldeans take out of our community, and we got people
Nothing.
that if you tried to clean up some of these gas stations, we got people that live in those areas. They will fight you to the end. Oh, Abdul, he's cool. He give me credit. You know, he let me come in there and get day old bread, 2 weeks bread, and all the shit.
Right.
Listen, they need to. I would have ran if I ran for office. I would run on. I'm closing all the fuckers down that don't comply, where it's not safe, and
Laughing.
they got people hanging out by there. You scared to stop for gas. They sell loose cigarettes. They got all kind of shit. You can have the health department to go into some of these gas stations and close them down because they selling fried chicken and other shit out of the gas station. So no, I would run them back across 8 Mile Road.
As they should. Listen, if you are an individual, say, I mean, they say that these Black Mamba, honey pot, or whatever, these those people that take it, not only does it have impacts on their heart and things like that, sometimes they are erect. They have to go to the hospital to get rid of the wood.
People like that shit. People like heroin, pure heroin. Listen, at neighborhoods, you hear about 3 people ODing. The junkies is running to get that heroin because it's a damn near pure. Hey, listen, people live on the edge, Vanessa,
But
and,
listen,
if you stop it there, they
listen,
gonna get black mama and black daddy and whatever they selling.
I
They
know
gonna get it.
honey pot, but what I'm saying is, even with the synthetic heroin, the problem is that it is 2,000, what's it, 200 times the standard dose of prescription medication.
Uh, uh,
It's
uh,
that lethal. And to know that they're selling these things in the neighborhood, one of our viewers said they've been talking about it for years, but guess what? They're not doing anything about
hey,
it.
well, that's it. That's the voters. That's the
When you talk
voters.
about when you talk about making a community better, when you're talking about making a community safe, these are the kind of things that are important.
You talking to the wall, Vanessa. Nobody wants to hear you preach because they keep electing the same bullshit. They
And,
don't care. You
and
know what? Because because those gas station owners are protected. They got a lot of money they throw around, and if you start looking at who gave what in the campaign finance reports, and you see some of those same people giving money, they not gonna close them down. That when they close them down, when they gonna kill people, 6 months later, that same gas station open back up.
well, it
They
is
be
bad.
under another name and they do the same shit.
And you hit on something that what they'll do is they'll go out of business supposedly, and they'll reopen the same family own it. They just have a different name. But I'm talking about the dangers that it presents to our neighborhoods. There is no reason. Listen,
Ain't
I
gonna change.
anybody sexual health is very important.
It ain't gonna change.
You should be going to the gas station buying something that's going to kill you.
It ain't gonna change.
Heroin, that should not be. We should not be
But it ain't gonna change. Jim, what you
buying
think,
something
Jim?
that is legal.
Well, I missed a good portion of it, but here's the thing. When you can't get cocaine, when you can't get heroin, the people find a way to get their high on.
You're right.
And I don't know that it's our role to stop people from doing that. You know, there was this imitation marijuana. It's been around for years, right? And people were getting sick off of it.
So you said you don't think it's our job to regulate it, but if these stores are selling
No.
in your neighborhood,
No, I didn't say that.
okay,
That's not what I said.
Say what you said. Repeat
I said
it.
I don't think you're going to stop people from getting, whether it's alcohol, whether it's narcotics, whether it's marijuana. I don't. If they can find a way to get high, people are going to get high, right? They buy Vicodin on the streets. If they get hooked on Vicodin because their doctor gave them 100, it used to be. I know it's controlled more though. You know, you can't stop people from seeking out medication. And
I don't disagree with you, but synthetic heroin from the gas station is not medication.
No, but
well,
you
it
don't
is.
have you don't have the cops. You don't have the manpower, Vanessa.
The gas station.
But you don't have the manpower or the woman power or whatever. You don't have enough cops to go around getting rid of this shit. You know, you know what? Nobody has talked about that during the campaign. Nobody says anything. I remember a guy. He ran for city council. Now the newspapers made fun of him because he said we need to bring back full service gas stations where you have somebody pump the gas for you. And he said, I bet you those gas stations make it safe for their employees if they got to pump the gas. And one of the papers said, that's you can't do that, whatever. Only 2 states
New
that
Jersey,
got
right?
full service. What is that? New Jersey
New Jersey.
and Oregon.
Oh,
Those are yeah. But the bottom line is, I thought it was a good idea. You know, he was talking about how do you make the gas station safe? How do you make people want to stop and get gas? And then then they say, oh, that's crazy. You know, but when people have good ideas, you know, we got the powers to be say it ain't a good idea because, you know, so and so gave a lot of money to this charity or whatever, but they pumping poison into the neighborhood, selling rotten food and all this other stuff. And you know, and it's we don't have a decent grocery store, so, etc. You know,
Well,
I couldn't tell you how to deal with it because Jim is right. People want to get high. When I say when people OD off some heroin, the junkies go crazy because they want to get some of that. You know, it's like they living
Ephedrine. They
on the
locked
edge.
up ephedrine, right? It used to be when we were young people. Some of the people are probably watching. They used to call them diet pills. What were diet pills? They were speed. They kept you up for 2 days,
Yeah,
right?
they
And
kept you
every
up.
doctor gave them to you, right? They gave
well,
them
the
to the.
doctors gave it to you, right? You didn't get them at the gas station,
Oh,
did you?
you
That's
got
how it
them.
started. That's how it
Listen,
started.
people at when I was going to school in Ann Arbor, people was calling them Christmas trees
Christmas
because
trees.
they
They
was,
were green and white, or blue
yeah,
and white, or
yeah,
black
they call them
beauties.
Christmas trees, and they was taking it to study.
And
Well,
then what happened?
Listen, all it was speed, and it kept you up 24 hours. You know, there's some shit listen. And when you're young and you start taking shit, you'll buy it. The doctor ain't gave me shit.
I
You
don't
know,
know.
you go to another dorm and you give somebody $5 and get one.
Well, I don't know what young person is going to buy honey pot or mamba or rhino, but I mean these probably are seasoned people buying that for these sex pills. But at any rate, I want to get to some of these comments. Vanessa, this is from Par Orgs. Where's the outrage from Nassar Baydoun about the actions of these gas stations? Right. Queen B, the people don't want them to do anything. I agree with you, Queen B. But who do you mean when you say the people? Miss Suzuki said they have women
No.
all over the ground in Southwest Detroit. As a matter of fact, the young person that passed away 3 months ago from the heroin, the synthetic heroin, lived in Southwest Detroit. Annie Lewis says Adolph is on fire. Queen B said gas stations used to sell those bath salts too.
Yes,
They sell bath salts and they sell the doggone Lucy cigarettes. Miss Suzuki said that's right because they are getting high off the whippets and they
exactly.
sell those at the bike shops. Um,
They're
Jill
everywhere. You see them on the streets all over.
excuse. Jill says she finds that as an excuse. Chlorophyll 1721 says you can't even farm healthy chicken or plant spruce if you have gas emission from these stations. Right. Jill Sterling says they can stop it if they want to. Kenneth Reed, good evening, team. Good evening, Kenneth Reed. He
They
just
can.
made a call. Jill says she's agreed with me. Janice said, don't forget to whip it canister. Teresa, Par Orc says, you are the greatest producer. And Eric Brown says, what are whippets?
Whippets are the canister. Is that some kind of gas canister? Or,
Yeah.
like they put in the whipped cream that they used to have in
Yes,
the whipped cream.
absolutely. And we have a viewer who says it's all over Southwest Detroit, which is a shame. But the point that I'm trying to make is this: if we want safe neighborhoods, we got to clean up these neighborhoods and stop allowing people to come in our neighborhoods and make money, right? Make money by putting and helping put people's lives in danger. What they used to
No,
do,
you didn't.
your cop is this. Drug dealers, they lock them up. If you're selling synthetic heroin, as far as I'm concerned, you are a drug dealer. You need to stop that. We need to
Well, the people that bringing it in, they don't fuck with them. They always get the little person, and that's about what they
the
do.
gas station
And
owners
no, none of these people gonna clean up the neighborhoods because the next mayor election they're gonna be talking the same shit. We're gonna get affordable housing. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. I want to see a neighborhood. I want to see a neighborhood get completely transformed like they did Midtown, like they did Corktown, like they did downtown. You know, they reinvented it, renovated it, brought in new retail, brought in they just you know they did this intentionally. They not going on some of these streets. You know, you got one house on one street and two houses on the next street and 10 empty houses on the street after that.
Adolph, when people use this term affordable housing, they use it very loosely. What is affordable housing? Because when you say that, people automatically think, or you're talking about housing for people that's on Section 8, or you're talking about public.
No, we're not.
That's
They
not
talking about
a lot of people believe that. So
well, the people believe that. I wish they did give some of these people for Section 8 because they take care of their shit better than some people that's paying market rate. So don't dog out the Section 8 folks. We got we got all these empty houses, and we need to give them to folks. We need to give them to people that don't have anything.
Listen, I'm not saying that. I'm not dogging out anybody that is on Section 8. I'm saying to you that when people use those terms, affordable housing, people automatically think that's what you're talking about.
Well, listen, where you live at, and where you live at, and where I live at, there's Section 8 everywhere, even in these high rent places, because they taking money from the federal government, taking money from the state, so they got to have some Section 8s. And you don't know who
how about every
Section 8.
senior building, Adolph? Every senior building in every community is taking money from the government, right?
Right, and they got Section 8.
They're
They go on income. But anyway, listen, it's just been a pleasure being here.
You got 3 more minutes. You might as well wait.
3 more minutes to me is like 3 hours.
You just turn us off.
I'll let you go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay,
you're talking about that's exactly what people think.
I can't even see you, Jim.
No,
you can't see me.
No. You the black tonight. Detroit in black and white. You the black.
What the heck happened?
Something happened.
I can see you guys.
We can't see you.
We can't see you.
Chlorophyll 1721 says there's 2 gas stations near me, and the fiends walk up and down our area. I've come to the conclusion to pay my property off in 7 years and go back to Minneapolis. Queen B says tax credit is considered affordable housing. David Porter says they think you talking projects. That's my point. Queen B says low income housing is Section 8, project based or housing choice voucher. Janet overall says take care, Adolph. Chlorophyll says I've been in Detroit since 2006 and have developed no formidable business relationships. So it is 7:28. We got 2 more minutes. Do you have any? Mr. 123 says he wondered if some of these stores were having crack and sold them during the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah, they did.
Do you have any parting words before we go off air? What is it? What is that you want to say? And then we're going to go to Jim. And then
if anybody believes that some of these politicians got you, they looking out for you. You delusional, because some of these folks, we got people that's been in office forever, hasn't done one damn thing. You know, we got people that they have served as a state rep, a state senator, Wayne County commissioner, everything, and they still hasn't done not one fucking thing. And they having a birthday party, and they charging $50 to $500 for a birthday gift. This is what a politician does, and you know it's not the right thing. You know, that city council, several of them, they didn't need to get reelected or whatever, but they did. You know, we got a weak ass city council. We're gonna see what kind of council we have moving forward. But anyway, we can see you, Jim.
Okay. All right, Jim. Jim, what are your Oh my gosh, you have disappeared again. Uh-oh. Jim?
Go ahead, Vanessa.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you to everyone who participated in Detroit Black and White tonight. We thank you for your comments. We thank you for joining us every Wednesday, Friday evening, and Saturday mornings. We're going to ask that you come back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. We're going to ask that you tell your friends about the greatest show on these YouTube streets. We're asking that you subscribe. We're asking that you share. You can catch us on all social media platforms, including Facebook.
What's the greatest show? Now you're not talking about this show, are you?
Detroit in black and white.
Y'all don't have to come back. Take a break from us. Take a
Not
break
at
from these
all.
talking heads.
Not at all.
Take a break from these talking heads.
No, not at all. We will see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Love you all. Love you all. Thank you.